This is not the first time I've done something like this. 3 years ago, I've lived in an orphanage in Cambodia. After that, I've lived with indigenous Indians in the Amazon. Recently, I went to Seattle for a week with nothing more than $1 in my pocket. And, I feel like all these experiences, they're fulfilling to me in the sense that you really get to see things from another person's viewpoint. And, some people, may find their creativity in music, dance, their job. And this is what I find fulfillment in, exploring other cultures in my scope. These people are literally struggling for their basic rights, for freedom, their children's freedom, to do the things they want. I mean, I have no idea what that's like. You can read about it, you can watch movies about it, but you won't really know until you're there, breathing and fighting next to these guys.
اركب حيطه والحظ اركب في سيارتك، انا المنطقه نعرفها كويس.
Every morning, we'd have combat, and then we'd come back, maybe 4 or 5, and then sort of rest up and, play sports. And so, yeah, I guess, it was like combat was a job. You do it for, from 9 to 5, then come back, and then, relax and hang out with your peers and, play soccer, play table tennis, just talk with each other and, have your bonding time. Holy shit! I mean, of course it was scary, but I have faith that the right things will happen. So, although it was a very stressful situation, I had a feeling that things would turn out the way they're supposed to, and that it's out of my hands after a certain point. So that allowed me to relax a lot, and I wanted to document what these people were fighting for, and how the fighting was. So, I was able to record it. It was just one of those things where you kind of just accept what's going on, and like I said, you just move forward and have faith that, the right things will happen. I mean, if an artillery shell is supposed to fall on top of me, then it will. I can't control that. Yeah, sure, I put myself out there, but whether that shell falls on me or not, that's out of my hands. I can't worry about that, and I just had faith that things will work out the way they're supposed to.
Hello, my friend. We are free now. We are free.
Yes,
we are free. We've been waiting for them.
Yes.
We are free. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We are free.
I totally picked up their cause. I was fighting for the same thing they were. My brothers were getting killed. I was fighting with them. By the time I was at the front lines, these people have told me so many things, like when Gadhafi told his soldiers, to rape women in Misrata and Ashdabia, he told them to drink whiskey and he gave them Viagra. I heard many stories like this, just horrible things, his troops going into Benghazi saying no mercy to children, no mercy to women, no mercy to the weak. You know, so, you know, I totally picked up the cause as my own. And, you know, my brothers and I, we were fighting for the same thing. I mean, I may not be Libyan by nationality or blood, but at that time, you know, they considered me one of their own, and I was fighting for the same thing they were.
Hello, I'm from America.
From America?
Yes.
Are you not student? Huh? You America?
Maghrebi is the same as you know the Maghrebi. Yeah, family, same family. He said for you is like uncle. This guy is like uncle.
There were a couple points that were symbolic. You know, obviously a really important one was that when they gave me a traditional Libyan name, when they named me Ahmed Moghrebi Saidi Barka. Obviously that sort of symbolized they accepted me into their family by giving me that name, you know, a really traditional Libyan name. Another point was when they gave me a necklace with a bullet on it, you know, after I went into combat with them. And also other things like when they gave me my amema, you know, you wear that before you go into battle, and, you know, like camouflage pants. So, you know, there were definitely milestones that sort of marked my involvement with the group.
It's okay, Ahmed, switch off.
احمد لبسوا له هذه.
Oh, it's a new.
Libya hurrah.
Libya حرة.
Yes.
Okay, Ahmed.
Ahmed Moghrebi.
Switch off.
I did everything these guys would do. We were right next to the Mediterranean. It's a beautiful ocean, or beautiful sea. And, you know, many times, you know, for 3 or 4 hours a day, we'd just go swimming, diving off the cliffs, you know, just you know, singing, singing Avril Lavigne songs, Justin Bieber songs, playing wrestling. You know, these guys love WWE wrestling. You know, some guys would be Triple H, another would be The Undertaker. You know, I would be Rey Mysterio. And, you know, we danced a lot too at night. You know, we would just make up songs on the go and just start dancing and singing. I mean, they're a really awesome group of guys. They really focus on the moment. Because, you know, when you're talking to these guys, you know, many of them realize that tomorrow, you know, one of us might not be around.
Honey, how are you? Honey.
You're fine.
Ahu Omar.
Omar, yes.
Ahu
A
Omar.
lot of these guys are just regular people. Like one of my good friends, Absalam Zawi, you know, he was a truck driver. You know, he would drive, you know, trucks, 16-wheelers across the countryside. Another one, Hassan, you know, he would put stickers on cars. Another one was a mechanical engineer. You know, a couple of them were students. I mean, they were just regular people that, you know, you would be friends with also. None of them were trained soldiers. It just happened that they were under attack. You know, their families were under attack, so they joined to defend their family, you know, to defend their country. But they're all very ordinary people. I mean, I don't recall any of them having military training besides, you know, a couple.
Ana Aila.
I love you.
I love you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Allahu Akbar.
الله أكبر.
Takbir.
الله أكبر.
Takbir.
الله أكبر.
Takbir.
الله أكبر.
Allahu Akbar.
It feels wrong leaving your brothers like that in the middle of a big fight. You know, there was a lot of fighting going on at the time I left, and it just felt wrong just leaving them at the moment I did. I mean, I miss it so much. You know, I miss my brothers there so much. I miss everybody so much. You know, every time, you know, I get a message on Facebook from a Libyan, you know, I get so happy. You know, it brings back a lot of memories. That's why, you know, I'll listen to certain songs that brings back good memories. You know, I'll smoke because it brings back, you know, I can hear my friends talking to me when I do that. I mean, it was such a powerful experience. I mean, how could I have any idea that this would have happened? I had no idea. I wouldn't recommend anybody to do what I did, you know, if they're not if they don't have much travel experience. Some people made it seem like I just went there for kicks. No, like if you went in there with that kind of mentality just for kicks, you would have been killed so fast. Like, make no mistake, it was an extremely dangerous environment. I don't think people realize that you need to have the right motives to make it as far as I did. And you know, I'm sure a lot of people wonder how I was able to ingratiate myself the way I did. You know, sort of like how I got in so far as I did with these guys without speaking, you know, a lick of the language prior or anything. I think truly it's because I went in there without expectations, without biases. You know, I just went in there with as much as I can, with as an open mind as I possibly could muster. And, you know, I did everything they did. You know, I just wanted to soak up everything in their way of life, their beliefs, their causes. And I think when you go in there so openly, you know, people sort of feel that, they recognize it. And I think that's a huge reason why they took me in. You know, I just wanted to be. You know what? You know, you got to ask yourself what that really means. Just being. You know, not being anything. Just being. You know, what's it mean? And I try to do that. You know, as often as I can when I go on my trips. I just want to exist. I just want to be a human being.